Welcome to the Imposter Syndrome workshop. I just jumped off the live call and forgot to record the session. So I'm going to do a quick loom to run through the slides so that you can watch it back on the replay. It's going to be short, sharp, to the point, but I promise you it's going to be packed with value, insights, and I hope it's going to inspire you to take action and beat this imposter syndrome. So let's get into it. Let me tell you a story about a boy named Richard. I have always had a beard and bald head, and I have jumped on this ChatGPT Studio GB trend, which I love. But I was that kid, right, that was scared to put my hand up at school. I was scared that I was going to get judged by the teacher or by other people for getting an answer wrong. I was that kid, if there was a presentation, I would not be the one that was, speaking. I would be scared, again, that I'd mumble my words, that people would judge me, that I'd be made fun of. Same thing carried through to university. Funny story. I decided it was a good idea to get stoned at 8 a.m. in the morning before my presentation because I thought it might help the nerves. Worst idea of my life. The paranoia set in, and yeah, it was probably like the longest 10 minutes of my life, and all the negative thoughts I had going into it came to fruition. Mumbled my words, kept freezing, which further compounded my kind of fear of speaking up, having a voice, and fear of being judged. Then my brother asked me to become his best man at his wedding, and that was one of the scariest moments of my life. And I remember thinking, I cannot do this. I cannot stand up in front of people. What if I get it wrong? People are going to make fun of me. And then guess what happened? When I started my online coaching business, the same stuff showed up. If I post this, what are people going to make of it? Are people from school going to make fun of me? Are they going to comment on it? What are people going to think? Who am I to be posting stuff? These are some of the first posts that I've done on my Instagram. I know some of you watching this back might be in the same kind of situation where you're just posting Canva graphics or still images. And I remember just posting this being so scared. Then when it came to making a video and putting myself on camera, again, the same thoughts came up. And I remember walking along the road, trying to video myself talking, not even to post, just to practice. I couldn't do it. I couldn't string more than a couple of sentences together without messing it up. And then when it came to actually, having a piece of content to post, again, super scared to post it. Then when it came to actually going live or doing something like this, having a free webinar where people came onto, or going live on Facebook, again, I was terrified, really scared, because it's the same foundational fears of feeling not good enough, not worthy, feelings of rejection that come through. So now, fast forward a couple of years, I'm able to, show up online, post content, host live webinars. So I want to get into kind of how that's possible to make that transition, and what's helped me, and some tips to help you. So first of all, just understanding what the hell's going on in psychology really helped me to kind of move through this. So imposter syndrome shows up and thrives when you're in an environment where you're visible and vulnerable, you're on your own, and there is the potential to be judged, which is why it showed up, at school, university, best man speech. It's why it shows up online, because you're putting yourself out there. There is a risk that someone might say something. There's a risk that someone might not say something. And all of that can feel bad, right? All of that can kind of trigger our internal feelings of not being good enough, not being worthy, and feeling rejected. It's not just about feeling like a fraud. It's a fear of kind of being found out. Someone tapping you on the shoulder and say, you're not good enough to be here, you're not worthy enough to be here, you don't have enough knowledge to be here. And that knowledge one shows up in online coaching, where there's so many other coaches ahead of us, and there always will be, right? There's levels to knowledge that you might think whatever you've got to say isn't worthy, or it's just been said before. But it's just not the case, because you have the power to influence people to make a positive change, and what you have got therefore has worth to them, even if you're still, just starting out, or you've been doing it for a couple of years, or you might have tons of knowledge but still feel like you needed that next course, that next amount of knowledge to share. That is just the perfectionism, imposter syndrome trap. And it's just a protective mechanism. Our brain is not our friend. This was developed thousands of years ago in our brain to keep us safe. And it's not about reality. It's just at the deepest level of fear of rejection. It's a perceived threat that keeps us safe. If we're rejected, we're thrown out of the tribe, we're not going to survive. It does mean death. We need the tribe to survive. So that is why fear of rejection is one of our highest, most important fears. It's because we might die, right? But labeling it can become an excuse. Easily, you can form a comfortable identity and tell yourself a story where you stay small and you play safe, or you avoid taking hard action because you say, I can't do that. I've got imposter syndrome. I can't launch this. I feel like a fraud. But what you're really doing is just outsourcing responsibility and making an excuse. And that excuse will keep you in a perfectionist mode. And perfectionism, imposter syndrome, and self-doubt, they all go hand in hand. You overthink, you have doubt, you want to get things perfect before you put it out there. And that gets you stuck in what I like to call preparation mode, consuming courses, designing your logo, designing your website, designing graphics, instead of actually taking the action that moves your business forward. So you get stuck in this vicious cycle where you're perfecting whatever it is that you want to do, all of those things. You have doubts about whether it's ready, and then maybe you post it, or you don't get the reaction that you want, and then that leads you to think, oh, that wasn't perfect enough. I need to make it more perfect. And you start to have this cycle of doubt, right? Vicious cycle. But the truth is, you don't need to wait until imposter syndrome is gone. You just need to make a decision that I can have thoughts of being an imposter, but I can still show up. And the moment that you stop identifying with the label and realize it is just a fear response, it's your physiology, it's not a personal trait, you can take your power back. And understanding that it is just a physiological fear response, everyone has it, means that you can no longer place the excuse on a label or condition. I used to think imposter syndrome was just something like you were born with, right? Or you caught. Everyone has fear. Some people choose to stay in their comfort zone. Some people choose to consistently move out of their comfort zone. So let's talk about the tangible actions that have helped me. Understanding that it's a fear and moving through it and doing it anyway is what you need to do, right? It's number one on the list. I'll get into some bits that will help you, but understanding this is what you need to do to level up. I like to have a cold shower in the morning. Normally I have a sauna or a swim or something, and then I have a cold shower. Every time I step into or as I'm about to step into the cold shower, my brain goes, oh, this is going to feel amazing afterwards. My body goes, no. You're not getting in that cold shower. I don't want to be in that pain. It's the same thing, right? It's a physiological fear response. Same when you stood on a tall building and you just innately get that kind of vertigo response. You need to just have a fundamental understanding of it's to be expected. If you're going to post on social media, or you're going to host a webinar, or you're going to do something out of your comfort zone, you're going to experience those emotions. But unless you move through it, unless you put in the reps, just like you're coaching your clients, you don't get results with your body unless you put the physical reps in. You don't get the results in your mindset and grow a strong mindset and move on to do bigger and better things without putting them in the reps and doing the stuff that's hard. My journey from posting a Canva graphic to being stoned in my university presentation to now being able to host a live workshop is all because I showed up, I got it done. There's times when I've gone backwards, times when I leaped forward, but everything was a learning curve, and I got more confident each time I do it. And it's just about putting in the reps. The biggest thing as a coach, for your clients, is accountability is what moves the needle. You know that if you give your client a program, nutrition plan, you leave them to it, they are not going to get the results that they want. It's the fact that they have to be accountable to someone that moves the needle. Same is true with your business. I actually joined an accountability group this week to keep me consistent with my posting, because I'm the same as everyone else. As much as I know I need to do this and it will help my business, our brain finds excuses and reasons to do other stuff. The biggest needle mover in terms of me growing in my business was in the first mentorship that I was in. And I was still at that point very, very scared to post, create video content. And, when someone said to me, I want this done by this date, I was like, well, I better get it done. Same thing when I started as a business mentor and I was employed and it was my job to create content. I just had to do it because it was my job. There was accountability there. And that massively, massively moved the needle. So consider where you can find some accountability, even if it's through other online coaches, that you have an accountability group. Surround yourself with people ahead of you, either on your level or ahead of you. The saying, you become the 5 people that you spend the most time with, is absolutely true. And I've seen this come to fruition in my own life. And I'm always looking to surround myself with people, my peers, people that I want to get to, because their energy, their habits, their confidence will wear off on you. And you'll start to see things come true that you didn't think were true previously. Your reality, your identity will start to shift and you'll start to become someone that you weren't. I was not this person. I did not like talking on the camera. I did not feel like I had a voice. I did not feel like I had anything worthy to share. But it's just through putting in the reps, having some accountability, surrounding myself with people ahead of me, that I've grown into the person I am today. Final tip: protect your energy, protect your brain by focusing on being on the creator and not the consumer. Because doom scrolling, consuming too much content, will set you back. Because social media is not real, right? You're going to see people pretending to live their lives on social media. You can compare yourself to the Joneses, and you're going to compare yourself to other coaches, and you're going to have other coaches in your feed, and you'll start to think, why can't I do that? Or why are they ahead of me? Why have they got so many followers? Why have they got so many clients? It creates seeds of doubt in your brain. And the other thing it does, even if it's subconsciously, is you start to copy what other coaches are doing. And if you're not authentic online and have your own authentic expression, and you're a sheep, then people aren't going to want to listen to you. They're not going to want to follow you because they can see it elsewhere, right? You need to be show up as an authentic version of you, and that's how you build your tribe. So most people 99% of people are consumers. You need to be the 1% that just focus on being a creator, authentic expression, unique to you, share your journey, come from a place of love, come from a place of wanting to help, serve, create content that helps the people that you want to help. Limit the amount of content that you consume because it will sow seeds of doubt into your mind. If you want to do competitor research, market research, block that as a bit of time in your diary when you do that, but don't, scrolling each day to find ideas is not going to serve you in the long run. Every time that I spend time, because it happens, right, we pick up our phone, we get a notification, and then Instagram pulls us in before we know it, if we've been scrolling for 5 minutes. I always feel worse every time I come off Instagram. It starts to sow seeds of doubt. So I'm really, really conscious about the time I spend consuming on the platform. Finally, the types of people who have imposter syndrome is everybody. Every coach that I've ever spoken to, every mentor that I've ever worked with, everyone has this imposter, which we've talked about is just an innate fear of not being good enough, not being worthy, having a fear of being rejected. Everyone has it. So do not use it as an excuse for you not to take action, because the people that are further ahead of you, they've just put more reps in. They've tried it, they've moved into the zone of discomfort, and they've grown and they've expanded. And that is what you need to do to move your business forward and to grow a strong mindset. I hope this has been helpful. I hope me sharing my own journey has inspired you and given you some motivation to push yourself further out of your comfort zone and continue to grow. Have a wonderful day.